So, what does it really take to fundamentally reshape a nation? Today, we're diving into a really bold proposal for national rejuvenation. It's a detailed vision, aimed at tackling a country's deepest challenges with a pretty radical new approach. And this quote from the source material, wow, it really just sets the stage, doesn't it? It speaks to this critical turning point, a moment where you just can't keep going on the same path. It's basically a call to stop and completely rethink a nation's future. Right away, the proposal frames the stakes in these huge historical terms. The argument is that a slide in moral standards isn't just some small social issue. No, it's the kind of threat that has literally brought down great civilizations in the past. So the problem they're trying to solve is seen as incredibly serious. Okay, so what exactly are the challenges that have brought the nation to this crossroads? Let's break down the problems that this whole proposal is actually designed to fix. The book's preface really zeroes in on these four key areas as the main roadblocks. And we're not talking about minor hiccups here. We're talking about systemic problems, corruption, injustice, poverty, and inequality that are described as holding back the progress of the entire nation. This is the bedrock, the reason for the call to change. So, after laying out the problems so clearly, the proposal moves to its core solution. And it's not a purely economic or political fix, which is interesting. It's something they see as more fundamental, a nationwide push for moral education. So, what do they actually mean by moral education? Well, according to a key document in this plan, called Article 32, the main goal is to build a shared understanding of right and wrong. It's about actively nurturing these core values, like honesty, respect, and fairness, across the entire population. Now, to make this idea actually work, it's broken down into four parts. First is moral awareness, just knowing the difference between right and wrong. Second is value formation, which is the process of really taking on virtues like honesty and kindness. Third is moral conduct, and this is so important. It's about actually acting on those values in the real world. And finally, there's social responsibility, understanding that what you do has a ripple effect on everyone else. And this isn't just some lofty idea. There is a concrete step-by-step plan behind it. So let's get into the DEFA 32 blueprint, which is the specific machine designed to make this whole vision a reality across the country. And here you have it. The plan is called DEFA 32, and it all centers around creating a commission for moral and ethical development. This would be the official organization responsible for driving this whole thing, giving the vision a real institutional engine. The DEFA 32 proposal really stands on three big pillars. First, a complete overhaul of the national curriculum. Second, building a whole new set of educational institutions. And third, a serious budget to make it all happen. Let's dig into what each of those actually involves. All right, pillar number one is all about the curriculum. It calls for making moral education a mandatory subject. But what's really specific is that it also wants to include publications from the quantum method, which is a particular approach focused on things like meditation and self-development. Of course, you can't just drop this on teachers, so there's also a plan for specialized training to get them ready to teach this new, values-based material. The second pillar is all about the brick and mortar and the leadership, and the plan is incredibly ambitious. Build a brand new, high-quality school and college in every single district. And here's a unique twist. To ensure discipline and quality, it suggests that each one should be managed by a qualified brigadier or someone with a similar rank and background. And pillar number three is the funding. To get this advanced education system off the ground, the proposal calls for an initial budget of 1,000 crore taka. This number isn't just a random detail. It's a huge statement about the scale and the seriousness of the investment they believe is needed. Okay, so we've seen the practical blueprint. But what's the philosophy that's guiding all of this? This section, Architects of Tomorrow, ties the plan back to where all these ideas came from. This entire vision is laid out in this book, The Architects of Tomorrow, written by Guru Delawar Hossain. You can think of this as the foundational text. It provides the why behind the how of that whole DEFA 32 plan we just looked at. The way the book is described really tells you everything you need to know about its purpose. It's not just a collection of thoughts. It's called a manifesto and a strategic roadmap. That language tells you it's meant to be a hands-on guide for action, a manual for building a totally new future for Bangladesh. So what does success look like here?
Well, the ultimate goal is nothing less than a complete transformation of the nation. The aim is to finally overcome those deep-rooted problems of corruption and poverty, to raise the country to the same level as developed nations like Japan or Singapore, and to unite 180 million people behind this one single purpose: to build a prosperous and peaceful future.
And that really brings us back to the big question that this whole proposal leaves us with. It forces you to think beyond just small fixes and ask, what does it truly take to design the future of a country? Is it all about policy? Is it all about economics? Or, as this plan suggests, does it all begin with something much deeper, the moral character of its people?